Welcome back, everybody, into your coverage of ESL 1 Frankfurt. This is Blitz. I'm Toby1, and these are my boobs. Let's go to the game.
I hate.
I'm embracing the hate and making it my own.
I think people spam like Chwan's sister or something whenever I come on air, so it's whatever. You can't let these things
You're a
bother
beautiful
you, man.
person. They're saying Chwan's sister is a beautiful person.
Yeah,
You're a
Chwan
beautiful person, Blitz.
Chwan is the best looking
5
guy in the
seconds
Dota 2 scene.
remaining.
He is.
So
No,
when
he started to slim up. I saw him in Bucharest, and he's lost weight.
that's not a good sign for me. But
Cloud9's turn to pick.
so when people compare me to him, it's all good. Only compliments.
Man,
Team Empire's turn to pick.
give him a couple more months, and Chwan's gonna look like Hani.
Man, Hani is so tall. Like you never get the full scope of how large that man is. Like every time he walks into our room, I'm just like, that guy. He does not look the same age as me.
You just feel like a dwarf.
You really do. He's such a nice guy too.
Sniper.
He's always polite to me.
Speaking of
Team
dwarfs,
Empire's turn
would you believe
to
he
pick.
gets through?
Ho ho ha ha. But Cloud9 have one of the better heroes to deal with the sniper because they've got the Zeus, and like I said, if you opt to put the sniper mid, which most teams want to do, like we see Alliance do with PyCat, where they run the sniper as a true mid, but they run it like as a true one position where like he gets the farm and he's your primary damage dealer, and then they'll pick up a hero like Slardar or
10
something just to
seconds
initiate
remaining.
and keep people back essentially for.
Yep.
And Zeus is one of the better heroes just because you
Cloud9's
have
turn
ways
to
to deal
pick.
damage from a long distance. You can spam out the arc. You've got your ults, and if he's got his Mask of Madness on, he drops so quickly. Like you pop the ult, and then you don't really have a lot of options. But Empire then they play the counter game again, and they take the Tree and Protector, who's going to further help the sniper out later on.
Yeah, that was the one always big thing about a sniper. How do you keep him alive in the middle lane? Well, Tree Protector has this thing you can use globally to not only protect him a
10
little bit, but also
seconds
give him the
remaining.
regeneration required. So you have to keep ferrying tangos out. The sniper can be
5
aggressive
seconds
in the mid.
remaining.
But then you just expect Cloud9 to have heroes which are going to rotate around and bring in more
Reserve time.
more damage to bear on that sniper in the mid.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw this matchup was, I think it was PyCat versus Fada, and I think PyCat actually got like a solo kill on him. And I think it was the same type of setup where he had a tree on his team. I don't think the living armor made a difference, but it does go to show that the sniper still has the advantage in the lane, and you have to be careful if you're the Zeus because the potential to die against a sniper is just high. Like
Cloud9
one misstep, you
turn
get
to
triple
ban.
shrapnel, not a lot of areas to move around. And sniper, it's a hero where you can't really get aggressive on, because if you get aggressive on it one-on-one, you have to hard commit everything because you're not running away from shrapnel at melee range.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
So what's the
remaining.
other option here we look at? Okay, because I'm looking at Team Empire and I'm feeling it's really difficult for
Team
Cloud9
Empire's turn
to push it and
ban.
actually take buildings and maybe just map control it more than anything else. Zeus and Lion's not really going to help you with that. But they're great up against heroes, but what should we be looking at up against the towers? Like, is this a game when you want to see someone like a Chen
10
appear?
seconds
Do you want to see a little bit more tower aggro coming from one of the cores of
Cloud9's turn
Cloud9?
to ban.
I think C9 in general don't really pick high ground heroes. Is like the weird thing about them, because you almost exclusively see Fada on the damage dealer, stay alive, play the positional role game. Like you almost never see him
10
play the physical
seconds
damage dealer, right?
remaining.
Like when was the last time you saw like Fada play a hero like SF
5
or Storm, for
seconds
example?
remaining.
Long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way that they progress C9, it feels like
Reserve time.
it doesn't really matter if they force team fights for towers.
Team
Like they just play the
Empire's
game
turn
slowly.
to
Like they
ban.
wait it out. They just try to get good team fights, and they look for wipes in team fights. And that's kind of the way they draft, whereas a lot of teams will try to have some options to go high ground and stuff like that. If you notice, C9's lineup last game is almost entirely dedicated to like
Team
the
Empire's
kite,
turn
get
to
into
pick.
mid-game fights, win a fight dominantly, and then we'll take your towers.
Yeah. I had a quick sneak peek at Fader's previous heroes, and so many of it's just massively passive. Like the only real early mid game damager which I could see was Templar Assassin that he played around with. Played that up against IG and Starlighter as well as earlier before that.
Yeah, and so
But
you're
that's it.
used to seeing him
10
on what heroes like
seconds
Magnus,
remaining.
heroes on Zeus, things of that nature, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's one of
5
Beastmaster
seconds
2. I think
remaining.
they ran
A
into really big
sky
effect
left
at
made.
Starladder.
A Beastmaster and a Bristleback are the two which are thrown in
Cloud9's
there a
turn
little
to
bit more
pick.
randomly.
So Empire, though, they go for the Skywrath Mage. Cloud9, we talked about the Lion for Misery.
Team
It's
Empires
starting to
turn
become
to
iconic,
pick.
honestly, Toby. Like, the setup between them. And that was a coin that dropped out of my hand. I just have a nervous habit.
That's just that penny drop.
Yeah. And
Everyone fidgets when they got to sit down for too long.
yeah, I usually just roll up like a coin between my fingers. It's usually my nervous habit thing. So Phoenix is the pickup for Cloud9. And as I talked about, Bone 7 with this hero, it feels like he really knows how to push it to the limits. Like, he gets
remaining.
real aggressive with this hero once he hits level 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Bone 7,
5
sometimes you
seconds
can make the
remaining.
knock on him that he plays a little bit too over-aggressive in the lane. But I feel like this is one of those heroes where you don't necessarily
Reserve
get punished
time.
for it, just because you're aiming to just disrupt the offlane with your Flame Spirits and get levels.
I'm actually wondering exactly how they deal with Nova, because right now the Sniper is a nice one, but Tree Protector attacks way too slow. Skywrath Mage is the same in the same boat. But we're still missing 2 cores, and Nyx Assassin will be the 3rd core now to arrive for Team Empire. So we assume offlane, but you're picking up a Nyx Assassin, going up against one Azus, who, with the Lightning Bolt's capable of revealing you, depending on how much farm that Zeus is able to get, will depend on how much he's going to be spamming that out. And 2, you don't know the safe lane you're up against. There's a Lion somewhere in the middle of all of this, but you don't know your safe core for
10
Cloud9.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, you
Potentially, you could actually not even know your other 2 cores, because Phoenix could be the
5
support
seconds remaining.
that Cloud9 do run.
Yeah, that's also an option, just because the offlane is going to be difficult for him.
Reserve
It's Tree and
time.
Skyruddy. That's kind of an annoying combo. Skywrath obviously is just bothersome to deal with because of his Arcane Bolt doesn't really get affected by anything. Like, he can fire that thing off, no problem. But the Nyx Assassin, I think, is in response to the Zeus. If you notice last game, the way that Fada builds is incredibly defensively. Like, he picks up a Blink Dagger, and then he just gets tons of stats. Like, he had 2.5k HP. He doesn't go down easily, and I think you need some sort of burst damage to take him down. And
Empires turn to
we're
ban.
you're looking kind of sad, but I actually think that this Naga is not going to be something that makes the game go long one way or another. Like, you could go late game with the Naga, but I feel like this is a 40-minute game
seconds
regardless,
remaining.
Toby.
Yeah, it's... For me, I look at the Naga, and I
5
understand she's the perfect
seconds
pickup.
remaining.
You're wanting something that's going to rip through living armor. If anything is close, that's going to do it.
Reserve time.
It's a hero which Skywrath Mage can't come anywhere near, because mainly because you're going to get done with the Riptide. Then it's a simple line of Phoenix capitalization on that. So I got no issue with the Naga being picked up. She fits the draft absolutely perfectly. It's just Naga. It's just Naga things. It's you know, you can stall up the game massively. I'm actually more interested to see the new Naga Siren than I am this current
Cloud9
Naga
turn to
Siren,
ban.
and maybe that's another part of my depression where I think the new Naga is going to be quite fun to watch as a spectator.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Are we thinking about the same thing? Because, you know, Radiance got changed, so there's like, it's not a
10
dodge
seconds
chance now, it's a
remaining.
miss percentage that gets associated with it. Support life is going to
5
become
seconds
impossible.
remaining.
Like, think about it. If you don't have like a Lion on your team just mana draining and stunning them and running away,
Reserve
if you try to
time.
man fight it as a support, it's going to be impossible.
Wait, why we're talking about a support Naga here?
No, as like a carry. Like, if you run it as a core.
Mm.
Radiance got buffed. The hero becomes more annoying. Although I think that the change
Team
to the sleep, right? That's what you're talking
Empires
about?
Yeah,
pick.
that's where I kind of like for Naga Siren for me, my brain will always go to the initial lane presence, which normally is able to be inflicted before. Like, you have heroes like Lion with the Mana Drain, the Hex, all that kind of jazz. But yes, it's the team fight control change up, which I want to see. Because it's also that ability to regenerate the rest of your team at the same time.
Yeah.
That for me is one of the most interesting things with the Naga.
I think it just makes her
10
more
seconds
annoying.
remaining.
Oh no, it's completely frustrating, but it allows for that
5
like
seconds
that
remaining.
swing mechanic to happen during the middle of a team fight. I don't know exactly how effective it's going to be with the speed of the
Reserve
regeneration, but yeah, either way, I'm interested to see the new Naga Siren, just like I'm interested to see the new return of the Lone Druid.
Oh yeah, I think Bulldog was commenting on how he really liked that. It was weird because I think AUI said he didn't think it would add too much to it, but Bulldog, obviously being Bulldog, thought it would, and so it's interesting to see. The big thing about the patches as well is that if any pros have like comments on them, don't take it too seriously, because you might read one thing, but the way that it plays out is entirely different.
Yeah,
Like, I think Winter Wyvern is going to be the most broken thing since
hate that hero.
since until Earth Spirit gets added to the CM pool one day, which Hopefully, doesn't happen
Never.
in the
Please.
next 8 TIs. Yeah.
Please no, never.
But at the same time, you don't really know until you really feel how
Yep.
it feels working around it and against it.
For me, I just look at it, and there's so many more options for the
Turn to
offlaners.
pick.
That's, for me, is the biggest thing to take back out from this patch. There's so many new 3-position things that you can run, Lone Druid being one of them, but it's the combination with the Morphling and Lifestealer.
Yeah.
And if you saw that bug, I don't know if it's actually a bug or if it's meant to be legit, but you could make and keep Spirit Bears.
Oh, it's for who?
With the Morphling Aghanims, you
Oh,
can
okay.
actually make yourself Lone Druid and then make a Spirit Bear, and you can actually make more and more and more.
That's really
It
random.
doesn't remove the Spirit Bears.
That's got to be a bug.
It looks like a bug, but at the same time,
How is it fair,
There's-
Toby, that you have
there's
like
almost a 2-minute cooldown on the Aghanims, and the
a
bear.
bear pack?
Like you could, I actually don't know what happens as well if you put items on the bear, because like when the bear's recreated, it doesn't actually come with all the items, obviously, because
10
that was broken.
seconds remaining.
But yeah, that's just one of those things where I think there's a lot of
5
new
seconds
combinations,
remaining.
and I'm looking forward to seeing more offlaners. Which, speak of the devil, we've got possibly one of the most annoying offlaners in the game. The Broodmother for Bone 7, the Soul Ring build. This Skywrath Mage is going to have one
Prepare
horrendous
for
game
battle.
if they don't keep vision on this Broodmother at all times. And I think that's the reason too why Always Wanna Fly has instantly bought into the sentries. He's got 2 of them in his stash.
Yeah, you have to work around that. Just because having
sorry.
2 supports against a Broodmother never really works out the way that you want it to. The Brood just applies too much pressure, and once she picks up levels, it's just not really feasible to zone her at this phase of the game. And C9, they tricked him. They thought that the Phoenix was going to be the off lane. I thought so as well, and so Empire definitely didn't expect this to happen. And man, C9 just have a miserable team to play against. Like, they've got a lot of split push potential with the Naga and the Broodmother. They've got some team fight abilities with the Zeus and the Phoenix. I kind of am a little bit afraid for C9 in the sense that
30
it is easy
seconds
for their
to
lineup
battle.
to get run over, because they have 2 heroes that essentially can't really help out at all times in fights, with the Naga having to build into the Radiance, and you've got a Broodmother who doesn't really provide stuff when she's halfway across the map.
Broodmother was also just run away from the rest of Team Empire. They're going to let him have the top rune, so let's actually do a quick hero check to see who was going to be around where. So we'll have Always Wanna Fly as that supporting Skywrath Mage. There's Resolution to the role as Sniper, who'll
The
be going
battle
towards the mid.
begins.
Silence is the Juggernaut up on the top lane. Aloha Dance. Eventually he'll probably move up towards the top, but for now he's doing the block in mid. And that leaves Yoki, who is the offlane Nyx Assassin, who he's up against Lion, the support down here in the bottom lane. I say support, we basically may as well say Hero 2.5 position for Cloud9. Naga Siren, he'll be played by Eternal Envy, or vice versa. Notel, also known as Big Daddy, he'll be the Phoenix. And that puts Zeus in towards the mid, and the last player offlaner, Bone 7, Broodmother. And that gives us the cap.
Oh, this was really cool by Envy too. He leveled the illusions level 1 and decides to opt to block the creeps completely. The creeps, obviously, they still spawn at a decent rate for Yoki, and I think this was a good decision by Envy, just because Riptide won't do too much. Yoki playing the Nyx, he's got one of the highest base regens in the game. It's like 3, and he's got plenty of regen to back himself up. You're not trying to get into a straight up harass fight with him.
So instead you play for the later portion of the game. Bone 7's having a real horrible time on top. He's trying to find out exactly where these sentry wards are. And in fact has a sentry of his own. So when he's feeling the lane's in a better position, he might try and deward that. But for now he's going to slip around the side. Always Wanna Fly's got to be really careful with his life though.
You gotta be careful, Yoki. He's getting actually really quite low, and No-Tail's actually getting the block off. I think this is going to be a first blood.
You're right, it is. He just came over to contest the stack, but no way out.
Oh, but in mid lane, Resolution actually just gets a solo kill on Fodder right now. That's not even with the help of the living armor, and this is the danger of playing against the sniper when you're the Zeus. I didn't even see that coming. I was like still focused on bottom.
Yeah, that's where I was looking as well. But the fact that he's able to pick that up now means that, well, Faded, at least he'll TP straight back out to the mid. And there is chances for some trade-offs for Fader, but there's no way to give burst damage into the sniper who's now running a bottle, so it's this consistent chip damage with the Arc Lightning. And Always Wanna Fly is about to deny this top rune. He does not want Fader picking this up. In fact, he'd just take it himself.
Yeah, and Resolution's got to be annoyed at that. He's like, I was coming over.
Oyster Fly's going to have a crack at this. Remember, he's got the double damage ring. He's already fired off the concussive shot, but he's going to drop Fader down low enough that if Fader wants to stick around for this, okay, yeah, Oyster Fly.
He might just do the suicide maneuver. If he could have gone one more Arc Lightning, maybe he would have done that. Or he just suicides the Ancients and then he's level 2, so he doesn't really care, but doesn't feel like he wants to play that role. And Silent at top. He's got one level of the Blade Fury up, and it looks like Bone 7 is just content to sit back, try to trade levels right now.
Well, there's not much more he can do apart from that. He can have a couple of Sparklings now come out to the field, but you don't want to get too close on Silent. He'll just Blade Fury and farm it all up. Still got another Sentry Ward here from Always Wanna Fly. Surprisingly, he's not dropping it down to get rid of the Radiant Sentry that's there. There was only one that was committed to it. But at the same time, maybe it's different because of Bone 7's arc. Like, he's actually making the webs come around the side, so he doesn't have to come directly down the lane.
Oh, that's smart. I like that play. And Yoki at bottom, he's having a little bit better of a time right now. He's getting a little bit of a contest on Envy's farm, but at the same time, giving up that first blood again to Misery. I feel like even if you get a kill to Envy at this point, it's not the worst deal, but I feel like giving up a kill to Misery early on, like, he just rolls with levels really quickly, and he's got level 3 on top of a kill, 2 CS just from the creeps, and he's doing quite well for himself.
He's such a nuisance as well. He walks in against the Nyx Assassin with that mana drain, and there's nothing really that Yogi can do about it. Dive in, a little bit off target. That's meant to be Big Daddy picking up that regeneration rune. And now Misery's in trouble. Yogi's going to slow him down, and Resolution will get the vision on him, but Misery wisely decides just to TP out to safety.
Man, Misery going godlike there. He reads that. He's like, okay, Resolution might be coming over. I just have to get out of here. And it's worth the TP to survive. Well played by him. But at bottom, EE's continuing to get a little bit less CS than this Juggernaut is. And Silent, this is one of his... this is the hero that I saw him use Raid Effect at MLG if we saw. I think he was like 10-0 in one game, and he was like 15-3 in another game. Like, this guy goes absolutely nuts on the Juggernaut.
At the same time, like, you look at what Cloud9's got to control him in this game, it's a lot better than what was normally being used up against him at MLG.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just a drafting decision as well. The Jug, it's not the best hero in situations where you're going to get kited out by a lot of what C9 have. They've got the net to deal with you while you spin. The damage of your ultimate doesn't do too much when there's a ton of broodlings, for example, or the Phoenix just pops his egg. But at the same time, Silent's getting a ton of farm. He's got 36 CS, top of the net worth chart right now.
Fader is looking to... I don't know if he can farm up this stack, but either way, he's being watched by Hello Dance. In fact, Hello Dance didn't see him because of the nighttime vision. Didn't see the fact that he slipped off the lane. So Fader just keeps going to town with what is a quad stack. And there's Misery to finally find Aloha Dance. But this is really quick and easy farm for Zeus to get.
Yeah, he's got to wait for his bottle, but still, it's not as good as you'd get it in the lane right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can give that lane up to Misery so he can soak up a little bit.
Yeah, the lane is eventually going to push in right now. Resolution.
Oh, looks like Song of the Siren. Envy, okay, he literally triggered that for the rune.
Whatever. I don't think he's going to be in a position to die anyways. Like, look at what Empire have as supports. They've got the Skyrat, the tree doesn't really have a lot of levels, and so the potential is kind of low. And Bone 7's actually cut out.
Yep, they dusted him up. He got down the hill to start with, and this dust's going to last a little bit too long. He wanted to run himself away, but unfortunately he took damage, so he couldn't get back up the hill. So Cloud9 lose one.
They needed that kill too, Toby. Just, you can't have both of your supports like passively sit there and not get anything done against the Broodmother. And a good kill for them there, and like you pointed out, there is a stack available for Fada, but I still think he... they need to make some sort of move on the sniper sooner than later. But I think they probably think they're okay right now with this passive game just because of the stack.
Bottom lane, misdone by Yoki, actually not connecting on Eternal Envy, and Resolution wants to keep committing. He's got Assassination up shortly, but with Lion TPing in, they want to get out of here. Notal will decide to spray him up with the sprites. So they just fall back. Notal, careful. Resolution lines it up. The range, it's not enough. Oh, actually, it is enough, sorry. But not enough life. for Phoenix to remain alive. And she's going to go deeper. Shrapnel on Eternal Envy, and Envy into the trees, got himself a Culling Blade so he can get himself a little bit deeper over the side, but Yoki reads the position perfect. Resolution is cutting the tree line, and in fact, Envy, he's in so deep that Yoki's going to block himself in here to try and find this, and they got a gap. Misery actually lets him out, draining out that mana of the next assassin. Remember, Spy Carapace, he's not doing any damage, so it doesn't help him, and in fact, Envy just turns around for the Riptide, takes the kill, and Resolution's running back out of there. They gave the living armor to him so he could survive.
Oh, that was sick. Resolution didn't have the snipe up. Envy knows that as well, just digs himself deeper into that tree line, and Yoki overcommits for that, and man, I mean, Envy just played that perfectly. That was a good read by him.
They're going to jump him, finding Resolution. The Thunder God's Wrath gave him the vision for it. Living Armor protects Sniper for the moment. He's very close to Roshan, looking to deny himself up here. And actually, no, he burns out from Phoenix, and Roshan, he bashes on Skywrath Mage. Skywrath Mage is so low, so Notel could turn around for a double kill into the Nova. Over on the Tree of Protector, burning him out. It's a triple kill for the Phoenix. And Notel, well, he's not going to go for more. Yoki's going to move down the lane, but that'll be where it ends.
It felt like Roshan had a choice. He looked for like half a second, and he's like, "I'll help you, No Tail. I got this one for you, buddy." And he comes in. I mean, the slow on the Phoenix, I don't know if that was intentional, but he hits the Roshan at the same time. So Roshan's attack speed is really slow, and they were both right next to Roshan. Could have gone either way, but he decides to help out No Tail by stunning out the Skywrath Mage and doing a little bit of damage to the 0 armor hero. And boy, I mean, No Tail, he gets level 7 off of that fight, and he was playing pretty much the
sacrificial support.
Yeah, as he always does, but he just like solo with him and Roshan. They pretty much just like broed up and teamed up and just went to town on Empire Zeros.
Empire's going to be so bitter about this. The Sniper thought he was home and hosed. That's why he hung around inside the pit. Expect him to make some kind of room play. And then he could turn into coating the ground with a shrapnel. But because you just lost a couple of heroes down there, now Bone 7 feels more comfortable on top. As he hits level 7 now, puts the 4 points up into the spawn Spiderlings to let the harassment begin. They're going to dust up as well, so Bone 7 sealed. As she decided to just run back into it. I don't know if he just accepted his own fate or not, but he dies on... Wait, did they just... Oh, these Spiderlings. I actually didn't think there was that many sitting on top of each other, but they just destroyed the Skywrath.
If they stack on top of each other like that, it's hard to see. And again, it's a 1 armor hero. Like, or 0 armor, actually. I think it starts with negative base.
Misery. Resolution. I don't know if he just didn't see him coming or not, but the Hex will be there. Faded with the Thunder God's Wrath. The living armor is going to protect him enough. He's into the trees. There's the lightning bolt back. Lightning bolt back again. It's Naga Siren. Envy's going to DC out from the game. And what a horrible time for it, because he started to run down the river.
Yeah, and Envy DCing here. I don't know if Fada dies here. There is a TP coming in. Who's that from? I'm colorblind, so I can't see this. Always on a fly's coming in. Okay, so Misery is in a position, but he doesn't have stun up. Resolution is starting to bottle up. He doesn't have a wand though, and Envy, maybe if he doesn't DC here, he could have just slept and they could have walked up and killed Resolution, and maybe that's why they pause and are getting a little bit antsy about this.
And Resolution will escape from this. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind about that. Envy can't turn around fast enough, and the range of the Song of the Siren isn't big enough to reach him.
Yeah, I meant, I don't actually know where his position was like 7 seconds ago, but if he had DC'd like closer up a little and he's in a walking path, then he probably could have caught him out.
Yeah, if he was at the tree, you'd just turn the Song of the Siren on and you basically got him in the back.
Yeah, because Naga's got 30 more move speed than the Sniper as well, so the catch potential's high. So if he was in that position, he's going to be a little bit frustrated about this development, because killing Resolution here would be huge. They committed a smoke to it as well, and Envy's back in the game. We're going to see what the option is here for him.
Well, here's the resume. So, Resolution, will he survive? Envy turns around, and Resolution actually decides to fight this one. They're going to try and beat into Always on a Fly with the man TPing in, and Misery will finish the job. Then they go into the Song of the Siren. This gives Faye time to get back, but no, he actually walked into the shrapnel, ending up killing himself. The Nova will also be committed. Resolution's on the run out of here. There's no net, so there's no control from that one. The stun should be able to still hit Aloha dance. There's no tell. Throws out one of the spirits, diving in deeper. Once Resolution really controlled, they already had the Riptide, Finger of Death, taking out Tree of Protector. Thought he was completely fine, but obviously not. And Yoki on the run out of here. Riptide in 2 seconds. That'll be the kill here for Eternal Envy. And that is going to be Team Empire. Well, I'm surprised they committed as heavily as they did into that. But it was the right read. They took the Skywrath Mage the second he was looking to TP in.
Yeah, that was just well played by C9. And it all goes down to the fact that No-Tail is like level 8 already at 11 minutes right now. You don't expect that kind of damage from the Fire Spirits this early on, and it kind of throws everything off when he pretty much adds that much value to the fight. They, like you said, Empire don't have the best way to kill the egg. And with level 4 Fire Spirits, and the attack speed slow being what it is at level 4, like 140, the Sniper's going to have no use in it. He doesn't have a Mask of Madness up. The Juggernaut is nowhere near you. He's just trying to stop Bone 7 from getting free farm here.
Well, he can't even do that, because Bone 7's got so many spiders stacked up. They come in and they almost one-hit down the creep they focus on. Like, Silent's trying to mop them up with the Mask of Madness, but you have to be careful about doing that as well, when you know that Bone 7's just going to throw Spirelings into you.
I think this might have actually been an old-school Battle Fury game for Silent, just because he's going up against the Naga and the Broodmother, and he's struggling to kill all the Broodlings as it is, or Spiderlings. So maybe it would have been a good idea to actually just go for...
Can he still go into it, or would you
there.
prefer to, like, he can go to a Maelstrom instead and have something like that?
I don't know if Maelstrom is the item. I think Battle Fury is just more consistent, and it works really well with... what's that thing called as well?
Okay. Poison a fly. Is that enough? Is that enough? I think it's enough. Yeah, it's enough.
Man,
No-Tail just
No-Tail.
played that perfectly. That's a 4-point spirit up for Phoenix. And he just dived himself in. And that Skywrath Mage is only sitting about 50% of his life.
And Dire's Courier dies as well, and I think that was a result of Bone 7.
Yep.
He's just into the side here, and it wasn't able to survive, and their ping's being
Radiant's
pointed out
middle
right now, and it
tower
looks
is
like
under
they're trying to
attack.
sandwich out this Juggernaut.
They're sending illusions in, first from the Phoenix, to have a bit of a look out and see if they can find... Well, actually, that illusion's not even going for Silent. It's just watching the creep wave,
Dire's
and it's
top
not going
tower
to see
is
Aloha
under
Dance
attack.
also arriving. They have detection here. They don't have any of their sentry wards down from the Broodmother previously. So Aloha Dance is invisible at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like all of
Dire's top
C9.
tower is
We've
under
got 3
attack.
heroes up here. This is the majority of the heroes that don't necessarily have to be here for the fights. The Relic is flying in for Envy as well. This is just time to create a little bit more space for Envy. But the Juggernaut is still leading the net worth chart.
It's also because he kept finding a lot of Spirelings to kill. Like the harassment was there. But beyond that, that's where it stopped, as had a little frame rate loss.
It's the nature of the hero as well. Like, you're gonna outfarm everybody with a Culling Blade and Mask of Madness. You can abuse the side jungle as well. You just get double the farm, and Envy...
We're actually dropping frames now.
Oh, are you?
Yep.
My thing's all good.
Yeah, that's because you're on a different internet line.
Got him.
So, yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under
Do you
attack.
just reconnect? I think you have to.
No, it's actually internet line thing, so it's more than that.
You're missing so much, Toby. Misery's gonna go down
Yeah,
here.
would you
Silence going ham. Yoki spotted out. This Jug's actually absolutely huge, and he's actually on the run right now. Fada might get caught up with his ultimate. If he gets his ultimate off, oh no, he gets so low, and No-Tail, another kill for him. He's 6-1, and all of his... The Fire Spirits, man. He went for like the attack, and then he couldn't decide whether to get the ult off, lose his vision for half a second. And No-Tail again. I mean, he didn't even have his egg up. The Jug could have gone for that, but just out of position there for a second. And you're just... It feels like this Phoenix is pretty much winning them the game.
Alright, so we're still having issues. We're still having issues getting our connection back up again.
Can they hear me? Can they hear us at least?
They won't be able to hear us inside the game, and when we do stabilize, it'll be a little bit better for them. But at the moment, yeah, just getting our stream back up again. It looks like we're limping
Dire's
back to
bottom
life
tower
again.
is under attack.
But it's pretty rough at the moment.
So should we keep casting here?
Yes,
Okay.
the VOD will be able to control, like, get as much of it as possible. But right now, it's really rough.
Okay. Alright, then I'll just pretend like nothing's wrong. And I think No-Tail's going absolutely ham. He's got 6 kills already, 3 assists. He's been a part of the 9 kills. Misery's about to pick up his Blink Dagger as well. And this 3-man combination up at top is just accomplishing
Dire's
so
middle
much.
tower is under
Fada's
attack.
opting to go for the same build he did last time, deciding to go for the Blink Dagger. And Yoki hasn't had the impact that you need out of this offlane Nyx so far. top. Misery's just continuing to get a little bit of farm. Bone7's picked up a Midas. He's going for the Dagon build. I completely agree with this just because there is a sniper in the game, and the Skywrath mage also will pretty much get one shot.
Oh, goodbye Eternal Envy. With the Mystic Flare and the ultimate with the Omni Slash, too easy. But you're going to lose a tier 1 tower on the top lane instead. So this is the casualty of war for it all. It looks like we've managed to stabilize for now. Hopefully we can remain stable. So for everyone who's tuning into Dota TV, sorry, we did have some network problems for a moment. It looks like our live stream is also back up and stable. We'll try and keep it that way.
Yeah, so sorry for the interruption, folks. If you didn't see, Big Daddy No-Tail is... It feels like he's winning the game right now for C9. Obviously, everyone's playing a part in it, but him being 6-1 right now as a support Phoenix, it's one of the issues with the hero is that you feel like it levels a little bit too late when you played as a supportive role, but just because of the fact that he's almost level 11 at this point really plays a role into their win right now. And Misery, typically the player that you see play greedy, is only level 8. And if you just take a look at Empire's levels as well, and this is key to note, is that the Nyx Assassin is level 8, and No-Tail's about to pick up his level 2.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Envy just scaling out the Roshan repeatedly, using his illusions right now, and Bone7, they're going to be able to take out Resolution, and Resolution, since the laning phase, hasn't had the best time. Aloha Dance goes down as well. Envy's chasing down the Skywrath, pops the song, not even 100% necessary, but it won't matter. Bone7 gets a triple kill. That's going to be a Dagon 2 for him, and he's already got a hand on Midas. C9 absolutely snowballing this game.
Well, again, I'm going to apologize to everyone who's trying to watch the VOD of this one later. I know we're streaming out, it's going to be buffering like an absolute biatch. Well, there's nothing I can do about it at the moment. I've let as many people know as possible so they can look into it. Yeah, we managed to stabilize after the team fight, which is wonderful. Alright, so where are we at? For everyone who's only just tuned back in again, apologies for the problems. As we are 16-9 on the board, just shy of 20 minutes in. Cloud9 have taken 2 nice team fights previously. I'm looking to force their advantage even more, as they're getting very aggressive, especially moments like this against Always Wanna Fly. Can't survive. You got a Dagon over on the Broodmother. He's going to get Omni Slash down by Silent. So a nice revenge kill for him. There's, well, he's got to try and play around. No sentry ward. Didn't see the next assassin coming in. So it's actually a double kill for Silent with a nice setup from Yoki.
Yeah, and they need stuff like that to create space around the map, just because Resolution's been so pressured in this game. Can't go the Mask of Madness build this game as a first item, just because there's so much that can blow you up. I mean, the Phoenix alone, if he hits like 1 Fire Spirit on you, you're pretty much dead. And Yoki finally able to get a kill, nowhere near his Blink Dagger, but Empire's starting to stabilize a little on the back of Silent, who has so much farm. He's got the first component of his Scotty almost complete. It looks like he's diving into this Roche Pit area. No Omni Slash up for him, and they have to be careful because Envy's almost got his Song of the Siren up. I don't think C9 actually are going to give up this up for free.
They're not going to. Here comes that song. Actually, he started it and stopped it. Just as quick as he actually did start it. There's no way Empire can do this. There's too much jump and control from Cloud9 for Empire to finish Roshan in time. And if they get stalled up doing this and they have to back up, they commit 4 or 5 periods to do it, then Bone7's is going to take your tier 2 tower on top lane. Or you just lose your tier 1 tower in mid as well.
Fada up at top, he's gonna grab this rune. Pops the ultimate as well, just looking for vision, and Misery's gonna initiate on him.
No-Tail in very, very deep, throws out the Nova. Silent wants to try and find this one, goes into the spin, and they got enough damage to get through the Nova. There was no other help coming in from Cloud9, so it's just a simple kill behind the tower. And now maybe they'll consider there's enough time and power to go in for Roshan.
But you have to, again, be careful because Envy, they're pinging him out, they know. I mean, he always has this sleep, but he actually pops it real preemptively. And the Roshan isn't even low, and I think now this is going to mean that Empire takes this for free.
We lagged out again.
Okay. It's okay. I think they can hear me in game or something like that.
They won't be able to.
Oh, really?
Because it transmits from this computer.
Okay. Poo-poo butt.
Yeah. So right now, to everyone who's actually tuning inside the game, it's yeah, it's not looking great. So I apologize for it, guys.
Radiant's bottom tower
I don't
is
know
under
what's actually
attack.
causing the attack, or if it's actually an attack or not. But when we have this many problems, I'm almost feeling like we're under attack.
It's weird because my line is fine.
Yeah, because you're on a completely different
Dire's
internet
top
line.
is under attack.
Like, we have so many computers on different internet lines, so they cannot be tracked. Alright, so what are we up to? So we lost a couple players from Team Empire. Brewmother
Dire's
dropped down
top
as well.
tower is Radiant's
Eventually
bottom
things will start to
tower is
balance
under
balance
attack.
again.
Yeah, and Silent has honestly been dragging Empire across the finish line by himself, going absolutely crazy here. I mean,
Dire's
he's
middle
got
tower is
7
under
kills,
attack.
almost a fully completed Scotty already, level 16 to boot. And Envy, he's deep into their jungle.
Dire's
He's got to be
middle
careful,
tower
though. He
is
doesn't
under
have his Song of
attack.
the Siren up. TP's not up for him as well. Always Want to Fly is on the hunt, and he's got the Silence off as well. Is this going to mean Envy's life? Yes. Resolution with a big kill right there, and Yoki going to go down to the 2 supports in the middle, though. And Always Want to Fly actually dies to the illusions, and Aloha Dance is actually getting quite low too, and oh no, he gets hit by a creep. I'm just gonna cast
Dire's
and
top
pretend like
tower
people are
is
listening
under
because this is
attack.
funny to me. Like, this game is hilarious. Just so many things that are happening, Toby. That
Thanks, Blitz. Just remind us of what we're missing.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm having Dota's such a fun game.
Dire's top
Oh,
tower
it's the
is
best.
under
I'm
attack.
never gonna get tired of Dota. I'm gonna be casting Dota when I'm like 60 or some shit. I'll finally maybe
Dire's
have
top
grown
tower
facial hair at
is
that
under
point.
attack.
So Bone 7 farms out the jungle. This is good practice for Blitz to solo cast while Toby tries to fix technical issues, and even if 0 people can hear me, which is likely, I'll pretend like people are listening for my own amusement. Lots of thunder being dropped. I hear noises.
And that's the best thing you can hear right now, because that means that we're actually starting to work again.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Dire's
You know,
middle
I get
tower
really
is
scared of
under
loud
attack.
noises, so things like the Zeus ultimate, it scares the shit out of me. So I have to turn down my music while I'm playing, or turn down the volume in Dota. And Silent might get caught out here. He does have the Manta up. It looks like both teams want to get into a fight. Resolution dipping quite low.
He's getting burnt out by that Radiance again. At least he's got the Aegis Immortal to keep himself alive. But they're being attacked from behind because Bone 7's still there, into the Nova, and Resolution getting stunned up. The Living Armor's going to protect it, but in come these Naga Illusions, and the Song of the Siren is still available here. If Envy wants to try and control the fight anymore, the Tree Ulti will buy him a little bit of space, but the burn is on a low art dance, and there's your Song of the Siren. Actually, at possibly the wrong time, but either way, they're still going to take 3 kills. So 25 to 14. And Yoki is not going to cancel the TP out from Envy. They just let him go, and the tier 1 tower will drop. Envy's got a farm to be tad on bottom lane, and he moves quickly.
Dire's middle tower
And more
has
importantly than
fallen.
that is they finally take a tower from the tree. They're barreling down this mid lane right now, and C9 doing an absolute monster job in these team fights. 3-man stun by Yoki. Does it even lead to anything? Silent in the backline. He does have his Omni Slash up, and Misery misses. Unable to get the timing off on the blink. Silent a little bit faster with that spin, and C9. Bone 7 is ruining the Skywrath Mage's life, Toby. Oh,
There's nothing the Skywrath can do against this. That's a 5th pick Broodmother. You can't draft any kind of protection for the Skywrath Mage.
oh, Bone 7, please have mercy.
No mercy shall be granted.
Bone,
This is just brutal. More than anything else, it's just brutal.
he's giving them the Bone 7.
At least Juggernaut's got a crap ton of farm. He finishes up his guard. He's got a mana style available.
It's
Point
just
7 still now going to come in. Dagon.
Dire's bottom
The Spy Carapace goes. He's still got Spawn Spirelings available. Gonna throw it in. Yoki has to go inside of Vendetta. But now you got the Radiant Naga Siren in here, and
no!
Yoki's actually burning to death. 34 HP dropped down to. The Spirelings are hunting down the wards, but they put down Sentry Wards. They see a low hard dance in the tree line. More Dagon attacks, and low hard dance breaking out of him as a million spiders. Maybe not a million. That might be a slight exaggeration.
and he's giving them all the Bone 7 right now, and I mean, Bone 7 seems to be the player that everyone seems to criticize, but in the last 2 games, I've just seen good performances by him. He's been an absolute beast in this game. People, I don't know if they saw the lag and stuff like that, but the amount of disruption that he caused around the map, the fact that he can one-shot the Skywrath Mage whenever he shows up on the map as well, you can't really like define how much impact that is. Like he pretty much just nullifies a hero by himself.
They're gonna dust. Bone 7 wasn't even hit by that. So the Spirelings are there. He attacks Resolution from behind. The Spires are killing Resolution off. Fader will jump in looking for a little bit more, so they're gonna steal on him. But in comes Phoenix, Novering on the side. At this point, he's just land clearance. A little bit of burn to the Skywrath Mage. But the stun, I don't think he's still in range for it. Yeah, actually he is. And that means just Nicarus dive down, spirit him up, and that's gonna be the death of him. Silence on the run out of here. So you lose your Zeus for taking out 3 Empire players. I think you're okay with that.
Yeah, and they're just running over Empire right now. Empire don't... And again, it's just Bone 7. Like, they have no defense for him. They show up. Did you see how quickly Resolution gets down? It doesn't matter if you have living armor when you're doing it at, like, 5% HP. The Radiance Burn alone, it pretty much means that you have to preemptively BKB if you're Resolution at this point. And you don't want to do that. It means that as long as Bone 7 gets anything off, you pretty much win the fight just because you force an inefficient BKB. And that's the power of this Brute build, is that you don't even have to really kill anybody with it. It's the fact that it's just really annoying to deal with. And he can kill somebody with it is the annoying part as well. Is the fact that always want to fly. Broodlings plus Dagon, like, where do you spot that from? Look how covered in webs this entire jungle is.
There's no way to spot it. Like, they try to run 5 guys up inside a smoke up to the hill, and Brute was just down slightly on the other side of the cliff. You break your smoke, you trigger your dust, but it's still not close enough for the dust to connect or for you to do anything about it.
If he gets an Blade as well, life as we know it is over for like everybody on Empire. Like, you're just not going to survive that.
Will that be his item choice, however? Because we still have to think about taking high ground, and if you start going E-Blade, you're finding kills across the map, but you still have to get up. And the Naga Siren, like, you get the mana style up for her, but you don't really have great tower pushing power. Do you turn the Broodmother into this right-clicking beast, or do you still make it these solo hero hunting
Toby,
styles?
you underestimate the fuck you, I'm Bone 7 factor, though.
Maybe. Wow. Well, Misery wants a piece of that factor. He just took out the Treant Protector, and now Resolution's on the run. Bone 7's right behind him. How much damage have you got? It's enough. The Sniper's going to drop. They take out the Skywrath Mage as well, with Fader and Misery combining up nicely. And shout out to our internet, which is now 100% stable, and I hope you're enjoying the show again.
Yeah, it's a little bit late just because of the fact that C9 have completely overrun Empire. This isn't like game 1 where we saw, hotly contested game. He's got a Yule Scepter, that and just to get away, and he's getting quite low. And I mean, you just haven't felt the impact from this offlane Nyx who's 1-5 and 2, because whatever you run into feels like a meat grinder. And No Tail has just got so much farm at bottom. He might go down. No. And again, 8 and 2. How often do you see this amount of farm on No Tail as well, with Misery in the game?
Not often, but it's amazing what a triple kill around Roshan can do for you. Just surprised how confident Yoki is of being out this far. Yep, TP back. 200 HP with no regeneration items on him, as in health regen. He's got Arcane Boost as well as a Yule Scepter. So Nyx, he has to keep going back to base.
Silent opts to go for that Battle Fury. I mean, I thought he would get it, but I figured it'd be better as a second item, maybe even before the Asha, because right now it doesn't feel like it's going to make as much of an impact, where you're starting to get some life on the Naga Siren. He's got a Mantis style completed 3.2k as well. Could easily go for a heart. Resolution has had pretty much no impact. If there's going to be anybody that wins this game for Empire at this point, it's just you put it all on Silent at this point. Like, he has to somehow do the impossible, but Jug's not one of those heroes that you can really play like that around.
No Tail, Silent, not quick enough on the Omni Slash, and No Tail didn't get himself out that one. He actually cut through the tree line and stayed on the high ground. Yep, Sunray's down just quickly, but Yoki's going to scout him out, running around with that Vendetta, but he's got nowhere near enough damage to kill off No Tail in time. The Icarus dive is down, so he's going to get the stun. This will open up for Silent to come in too. The assassination will be done, and they burned through his BKB. That was the 9-second BKB for him. You commit 5 players to do this.
Yeah, and they're okay with that trade because, again, their jungle has been completely shut off to them. Like, they're just playing 5-man Dota at this point.
Oh! I don't know if that it was calculation. The Radiance Burn is coming in close. Resolution. They use the Living Unprotected so he can TP out. The Thunder God's Wrath with the Impel and Finger of Death dropped him down to 35 HP.
That was close. And meanwhile, again, you lose control of this this entire portion of the map, Toby, is gone.
You're talking about the dire jungle?
Yeah, this is gone to them now. And it looks like they're trying to get in. Silent and Aloha Dance are invisible, but Boom7's been waiting on that
Dire's
cliff
middle
for so
tower
long.
is under attack.
Just got so many spiders. He moves from one cliff to the other, but now at least they know what cliff he's on. He's on the far side of the cliff. Aloha Dance also coming very close to that Zeus.
Dire's bottom
They're
tower is under attack.
trying to get a hold of him, but Silent, with that Battle Fury, going to clear this up really quickly. And 9-1-0 right now. Silent's had an excellent game. I really don't ever see Silent do poorly with Juggernaut. And on the other side of the map, though, it looks like Yoki's going to get isolated out.
Yeah, he tried to have a crack over on Notel. But Notel, he missed the stun on him, which allowed him just to run himself away. And then Misery made sure there's a little bit more space.
Yeah, and Resolution, maybe go for the Maelstrom here. You need some way to clear the illusions. And at the same time, you just need cheap items. Like, your item progression isn't the best. You just have to build whatever you can to stop the bleeding, as far as I'm concerned.
You say that while you look at Cloud9, who are buying all their luxury items. You already had a Bloodstone on Zeus, but now you give him a Refresher Orb as well. So you get a double level 3 ulti out from Zeus. Notel's walking around with that frickin' BKB of his. Lion's on the way to the Aghanim Scepter.
Dire's bottom tower
And
is under
you
attack.
realize why when you look at how much gold they've got. Like, it's almost 20,000 net worth advantage going the way of Cloud9. And the experience is coming up quite high too.
Dire's bottom
Yeah, and
tower is
Bone7
under
pushing this
attack.
out. It looks like C9
Radiant's
are
top
going to go for this
tower
tier 2
is
tower.
under attack.
Well, they got the vision over on Resolution. BKB has to come out. Bone7 just on the run here. He's going to play the Blink Dagger Broodmother style. Chasing after Resolution into the Sunray. And they're going pretty deep here. The damage is enough when Zeus throws out the ultimate.
Dire's middle tower
And that was the Refresher ulti as well. Into the Nova from the Phoenix. So no one from Empire is going to come close to this. And the Creep Wave's going to enter in through the mid. So if they wanted to, they could have potentially... Well, actually, no, they can't because the tier 2 tower's still up in mid.
They're just
The Creep Wave's just gone YOLO to the tier 4s.
Dire's middle
They're
tower
overwhelming them,
is under
Toby.
attack.
And right now, C9 just look dominant. It feels like they're doing pretty much whatever they want to on the map. C9, I mean, Bone7, it's that dig on 5 plus your nuke threat is just too high. Resolution at like half HP is like, I have to BKB, and he's like, I'm still dead.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Notel. Yoki comes in for the stun at the same time as Misery blinks up. So he gets the Hex, the stun, they go into the Sunray, and Lion just commits the finger. Meanwhile, Broodmother killed off that Treant Protector. I love this Blink Dagger on the Broodmother. Right up in the faces of Empire. You just don't give a crap
Dire's
about
bottom tower is
like
under
this range
attack.
anymore. You close the gap on the Sniper or the Juggernaut. You just tank it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, this is the ultimate, I'm just going to run at you, disrespect.
I don't know if it's disrespect, it's just a quality
It's just a
item
term.
build.
It's like a, I'm gonna blink on top of you. What are you gonna do once your BKB runs out? You're dead. Deal with it kind of maneuver. I don't think Empire is like mad in that sense.
Dire's bottom
They're gonna be
tower
annoyed
is
though.
under
That's for
attack.
sure. 'Cause there's not a whole lot they can do to combat that.
Meanwhile, Envy continues to farm and push on bottom lane. Walking around with a Skadi Amanda style. And the Radiance in his BTs. So he'll remove the final outer tower for Team Empire. And Cloud9, they're just inching their way forward securely to a matchup up against Na'Vi tomorrow night.
Yeah, and the way that it looks right now, there's no one on Empire that can step outside their base without getting one shot. They have to just kind of huddle around, wait to see what C9 do, and they have to play reactively at this point.
Oh, Aloha, why? I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but if C9 saw that and decided to push in, he just used his overgrowth.
Yeah, I
But
heard it.
he was looking to fake it out by being like just playing around with it inside the base.
Yeah. It happens
Ow.
to the best of us. What? I mean, I popped my Zeus ult earlier today without meaning to. It's just one of those things.
Silent, gonna go in for the spin fade, a quick blink away. Realizing Yoki's coming in close, no tell. A little bit of spill damage out in him. He's thinking about the Nova. Yeah, she just BK beats up so he can keep battling into Yoki. Man, that Sunray does so much damage to the Nyx. He's gonna move forward as well, trying to keep on the back of the Nyx. Cannot do it though. And the Shrapnel will keep him out. So it's like it's not as bad for the Treant Protector. 20 more seconds before his ulti's up again.
Yeah, and again, C9, this is kind of the weakness of their lineups, as I said at the beginning, right? They don't pick tower aggressors, and You don't want to go high ground, though, into this type of lineup. Like Empire, even though half of their lineup gets one shot by Bone 7, they still have to be careful. Because it is a sniper, it is a Treant, it is a Juggernaut who's got a lot of clear potential. You have to be careful, and C9 are just continuously building a lead. Because of the fact that they have control of the jungle, they don't want to give anything away. That's a 25k net worth lead for them right now.
What a time for a Searching Thunder God's Wrath out from Fader. Realized that Yoki was missing through the lightning bolt down, then saw the next assassin. Just forced him to back up.
I heard a Hex.
You heard a Hex?
Oh, never mind. I was wrong.
I was hearing Split.
Oh, okay. Was that what it was?
Yeah, it must have been Split.
Oh, at top.
Yeah, because I was looking at the level 2. Well, goodbye, Zeus. I was looking at the level 2 defusal play, just instant purchase by Naga. Not even holding back. Don't care about the level 1. Directly to level 2 and still holding onto that bottle of hers. I'm wondering if this is one of the games too where you just decide to go for a heart. Let the Naga be the tank on the front lines, because you can always just go for the butterfly as well.
I think you go Butter here. It's just a good option against Sniper and Juggernaut. They're not going to get... The Sniper especially is not... MKB is not at the top of his list right now, Toby. It's not... He's not thinking about that right now, and the Juggernaut has to go the Abyssal Blade as well.
Ah, they're so deep. Yoki, Finger of Death's going to bring him down, and Notal diving in even deeper. They do manage to bring down the Lion that was silenced on the front lines with the Omni Slash, and then into the Nova. They've got to protect this Phoenix Egg, and they can't do it. The Naga song will be there, but already Big Daddy's on the sidelines, and Resolution unaffected because he had that BKB up. Assassination looking for Bone 7. It's going to connect. It's down to 128 life, and Silence on the run after him, but into the webs. They cannot reveal him. Fader's still here, and Fader's still walking around with a double ultimate. So if he wants to, he could potentially unload onto Silent. But he needs to blink, he needs to have something, and there it is. In fact, he uses a refresher orb to get the Blink Dagger back off cooldown. The BTs are already coming back off cooldown anyway, but he needed it sooner so he could avoid the assassination.
Yeah, heads up play by him right there, because the Juggernaut was going to chase him down. If you waited that extra time, the Mask of Madness would have been up, and Silent would have been able to close the gap, but smartly decides that the refresher cooldown is worth more than his life.
Is Bone... Okay, Abyssal Blade for Bone 7?
I mean, might as well, who cares?
He's got a relic. I'm not thinking this is going to be a Radiance, but... Because it's way too late for that.
Be careful, friends. You don't know what Bone 7 can do.
He's only got 3 choices. We're looking at Radiance, we're looking at Abyssal Blade, or we're looking at Rapier. And there's no reason for him to get a Rapier.
He is not going to get a Rapier. I figured he would go for the F-Blade and try to go for the Ultra one-shot combo. But I think this is probably going to be an Abyssal. I mean, it's the only option. You've already got a Radiance.
Yeah.
It would make no sense.
He could just walk point blank up to the Juggernaut or the Sniper and just Abyssal Blade him and let the rest of his team do the work. Phoenix coming out, BKB's up. They're going to find Skywrath Mage. Misery taking no time whatsoever, just wants to finger him down. And actually, if you look at Misery's build, he decided to back off the Aghanim Scepter. I don't know if you flagged this before, but he got himself a Shadow Blade instead.
It's a good support item just because of the fact that Empire is so poor right now that keeping up with sentries is never going to be a thing, and they can't leave the base anyways. And it feels C9, they're just getting kill after kill around the map. I don't know if high ground potential is quite there for them. They're probably just going to wait until every single person on the map on their team gets 6 slotted, and then you overrun them with double buyback travels.
Oh, hello, Aloha Dance. And goodbye, Aloha Dance. Hexed up, burning up, and they're able to burn through the 1800 HP he's got. Gonna throw the ulti out, but there's still too much damage. Fader's sitting perfectly on the side of the trees. And, well, he thought he could hold on to that gem for a bit, but it's not going to happen.
And with that gem gone now, the effectiveness of the Shadow Blade and the effectiveness of the Broodmother just went up infinitely. They're going to de-ward around the map. Misery as well. Just a lot of the vision from Empire is being choked out right now. They don't have anywhere to go. And this is a level 13 Skywrath Mage that hasn't seen a new item in quite some time.
That's for a very good reason, man. He's 0-14-11. Like, if Empire have some ungodly way of winning this, then we actually have a proper contender for the Malcolm Ward. But we might actually have a double, because the Tree and Protector, you're both your supports. Together combined is 25 deaths, but not a single kill for them. And overall, they're not really, like, the sacrifice is in vain. because Empire's not finding kills on their cores.
Yeah. So it's 25k net worth lead.
Apart from Jug.
Double the kills right now for C9. I'm waiting to see what C9's move is after this Roshan, if they decide that they can go high ground with it. Envy right now is pretty much 6 slotted. He can go for another item if he wants. The Song of the Siren is popped just in case.
Fallen to the radiant.
It does, but I mean, they were never going to leave their base. Fada actually gets the Aegis and
We got Yoki in trouble. Fada jumps up for this, and well, they go to Thunder God's Wrath. We'll see Yule set drop into the air, allowing Yoki time to blink, and well, they can see him, and the Hex will be there in time. The day got to finish the job. And goodbye, Nyx Assassin.
And that's the Abyssal Blade complete for him. The sniper is desperately trying to complete a Manta.
Yeah. Does he have Refresher? He has Refresher. I don't know if that's is that enough damage with the ultimate? 640? No, not with the healing ward down as well. So the Naga illusions were just ripping away at Aloha Dance's life. It would have been a very, very simple refresh to the ulti to get the kill if he dropped low enough.
This is such a miserable support game to play against. Like, you're against No-Tail, who's got a BKB. The Lion has got pretty much whatever items he wants. And there's, who do you even kill at this point? Like, there's nobody that you can go off and kill. The potential to be killed is high because there's invis heroes all around the map. Like,
and they're everywhere. Like, because you got BTs on your court. Yeah, you can't run away from C9. The only way you can come out of your base is if you move as 3, 4, 5, really.
But how do you move? I mean, it's one of those things that if you're behind this much and you're moving around as 4 and 5 and you get caught out as a group, you lose the game. You go solo, obviously you get picked off, but you don't really have a lot of options because somebody needs to die around the map or nobody's going to get farmed. Like, this is one of the worst positions to be in as if you're a team that's like far behind. You can't really move out as a group because you're so far behind in farm that you'll get stomped in a 5-man fight. If you just sit in your base, obviously everywhere on the map gets farmed, so you lose anyways just by the net worth advantage eventually crushing you. So Empire's in a position where they have to send people out to take risks to farm, but somebody has to die. Like, you have to sacrifice somebody.
And who do you really want to sacrifice? You can't really sacrifice anybody but the supports, but they don't really achieve much anyway, even if they do sacrifice themselves. I also just looked at MBCS. He's almost hit 500 CS in 42 minutes. Because whenever his team's been pushing and taking towers after they took the fight, he instantly moves back to farm. Instantly. He doesn't even wait for it. He's like, you guys can take the tower, you don't need me there. Finishing off the tower at 10 seconds quicker is not worth the amount of time that I would then have to commit, which is probably 20-30 seconds, where it could mop up as Naga Siren an entire side of a map worth of farm.
Yeah, he's just being incredibly efficient, and he doesn't have to be there. With just the amount of pressure that Bone 7, I mean, I gave him a lot of props this game. That he's been able to put on has been a little bit too difficult for Empire to deal with. On the flip side, I mean, I can't talk enough about Silent. He's had a monster game for his team, 11-1-0. Unfortunately, it's not enough so far. Resolution as well had such a good start, being able to get that solo kill off on Fada, but unable to piece anything together. And Yoki's just had a rough game from the first blood. And the supports, you can't really blame them because it was just a drafting thing. Like,
yeah,
you're going up against...
You couldn't see it coming as well. It was the last pick on the draft, and I think you said it perfectly when we got in. It's like, Empire just didn't read it coming. You weren't expecting the Phoenix to move into that support role, even though Cloud9 have been doing it. You just looked at the draft and you thought, nah, it's got to be the offlane Bone 7 Phoenix.
Exactly, and last game you saw the potential of the Empire supports. They obviously played really well, but this game, it's one of those things where you can't really expect much from them. If you're this kind of trialing against a Broodmother, like, they killed Bone 7 how many times in the beginning? Like, they killed him like 3 times. But then where do they really go from there? You can't really punish the Naga if your Nyx is having such a rough game. And then things just spiral out of control once Bone 7... He essentially just runs at you and does spider stuff.
Well, Empire, at least they got some time to think about this, as again, we had another pause being requested by Fader. If you have only just tuned in, again, apologies for what was happening roughly now 30 minutes ago when it did go down. But we are back. We are live. Unlike the new patch, which is not live. Stop freaking out, everybody. It's all okay. It's not here yet. Maybe tomorrow night for our game. And that's what's up for grabs for the winner of this matchup. The loser is eliminated. from the competition. There is no more ESL 1 Frankfurt chances for them. This is the last chance. It's the lower part of the bracket for the double elimination bracket, which we had for the European qualifier. 3 teams in total got to qualify for it. And we had Alliance, we had Virtus Pro, and now we'll have a matchup between Na'Vi, who is sitting in the lower bracket final, and the winner of this game, which at this point, unless something goes horribly wrong, it'll probably be Cloud9 up against Na'Vi tomorrow.
I can't imagine with this type of lead that things are going to be different.
I've thought that before, and then all of a sudden there's Fear taking racks, people diving on tier 4 towers, EG versus MVP, shout out to that game, or potentially you're pushing in, you think you're actually great, no one's going to TP scroll.
Yeah,
There's things that can go horribly wrong. There's
can
no way C9 will ever make that mistake again.
Yeah, things can always go wrong, so you don't really know what can happen. The game is at a point where, yeah, like, it's 25k net worth. You'd have to throw. Like, you're in a position that is definitely winnable for C9. Like, if C9 end up losing this game, you can't really go like, oh, well, Empire had the draft to counter them. No, C9 have a definite advantage.
Things happened at Starladder as well, and then again, I kind of actually feel like the greatest throw of Starladder was Tinker versus C9. That was pretty big. That was pretty big. All right, so should be any minute. I actually have no idea he left, and he was like emergency, then left. Okay. Hopefully nothing too bad for Fader. This is gonna be like one of those moments.
It's fine.
We're good to go.
Fine, yeah.
Okay, so it's not one of those moments where someone's now breaking into your house to take your guns and then go on a rampage in America.
What?
Doesn't happen to
Fader's.
I can never pronounce her name.
Fader's German.
Yeah, I know that. I'm referring to a situation that happened with the girl, like Sajin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to her.
I know. All right. Whatever.
I'm talking about things that can go wrong.
Okay.
Not actually saying that's exactly what happened to Fader. Well, Gabe started again anyway. Sorry, I shouldn't go on abstract thoughts.
I'm just like,
because poor Bliss is just like he's
my
not
brain
keeping.
can't comprehend this right now.
He's not keeping up with my brain.
Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so Empire now starting in more of a defense. They do have the Aghanims over on Treant. So you said they couldn't at least keep up the Sentry Ward battle, but maybe they can win on the Vision battle up against Cloud9. But they're ready to push Cloud9. They've had enough. They're looking at bottom lane where the Finger and the Thunder God's Rifle help to get the kill on Nyx Assassin. And Always on a Fly is going to get munched up inside the base. The Naga Illusions run in. They do have the Butterfly now also over on Eternal Envy. So he's completely 6-slotted. Resolution. Well, it's the first BKB, which is the Phoenix Egg. Going to be triggered. At the same time, Zeus now has his Aghanim Scepter.
Well, and Seven's got a Blink Abyssal. They have to be really careful about this.
I feel so sorry for supports to this day. Stara's going to get destroyed, and Resolution's the last man standing. Silent will buy back into this game, but it really does seem hopeless. They get rid of the illusions, that's great, but they're not ready to fight again. Fader's on the run back, and in comes Blink, Abyssal, Silent, dead to the world. They throw out the oldie from Fader, keeping Resolution low, but this will be a double Raxing at least, because you got a 2-minute window without that Juggernaut. And in fact, GG is the call. Cloud9 will advance. So it looks like we won't see Game of Throws Blitz.
Yeah, and after a really dominant performance by C9. The draft, I thought that things were going to go worse for them in the early game, but maybe they would help out early, or later on, but it felt like they just... It was honestly just No-Tail getting so fat in the beginning. Like, you can't really predict or play around that. He gets like 3 kills, he got a kill on the sniper, which you're a support getting a kill on the sniper. Like, that's massive as it is, but he gets 2 more kills on top of that, and it just made the early game transitional period so much easier for C9.
Well, with that, that means C9 advances. Do we dare ask the question, who is the favorite coming into tomorrow? And we'll assume that the patch does not come until the end of tomorrow's game.
I think that C9 are still the favorite. They have more experience right now with their current lineup. It feels like they're finally starting to hit a stride that at first, you know, their lineup had some rough patches, but it really feels like they're hitting a stride where they're looking like one of the scarier Western teams.
Well, we'll see if they're capable of winning tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in right here on the channel for the ESL_JoinDota Red channel right on Twitch. You can also go to ESL1.joindota.com and they'll give you all the information on all the qualifiers from all around the world for this wonderful event. And of course, you can buy your tickets. Enter in the raffle too. We got like a raffle where you can win free stuff. And all you gotta do
Free
is
stuff is always cool.
yeah, it is. So I'll put it up on the screen when we're finished now. But make sure you enter in for that, and we'll see you all at either ESL1 Frankfurt or tomorrow night at 6 p.m.